I first promised myself that I was willing to stand in Clarissa's shadow for 10 years. It resembled a relationship in which duties are switched based on whose dream is most likely to succeed. Hers caught quickly. So I left my marketing job behind and folded it away like a suit I never thought I'd wear again. Clarissa Jameson was a visionary firebrand, and she had all the momentum. Not because I had no chances. I did. But I took over as the one who handled her calendars, kept her brand clean, and ensured that she shined. My silhouette saw her climb and clap the loudest as her comments landed cleanly and powerfully behind. "Every spotlight," she once remarked, sipping coffee with 2 phones on the table. "It started innocently enough, simply for a few months, until I find my feet." She had recently started FIL, a little software company based on an app that monitored environmentally friendly consumption. I recall how proud I was to see her approach investors with that risky blend of self-assurance and unwavering determination. Believed in her. In us. So I resigned from the marketing firm where I had established a good rapport with my employer. "I think you're making a mistake," he warned. "You can't orbit someone for miles on end. You'll eventually desire your own son." But I laughed it off. What did he know about love that Clarissa didn't? At first, she was appreciative. She would hold my hand throughout meetings and give me modest tokens of thanks. She once joked at a client dinner, "My husband is the reason I haven't gone crazy this quarter." Everyone laughed. I grinned, but the more successful she became, the more the gratitude faded, and the smiles vanished. I grew increasingly invisible, and before long, I wasn't Miles, my spouse. I was Miles, who manages logistics. So I ended up escorting visitors to their tables at charity galas, refilling drinks, and sending text reminders during board meetings. But I assured myself that I didn't mind. We set our vows in a leased garden with plastic chairs and expectant eyes. And I wondered whether I'd kept them. Was marriage sacrifice? I told myself, holding her up meant she'd eventually reach back down and see me, not the assistant, not the errand boy, but the man who gave everything so she could shine. But I began to question whether she really noticed me anymore. The home had grown too large. We hired a cleaning team, even a driver for her, when she didn't want to use Ubers. Before important interviews, I still prepared breakfast, ironed her shirts, and sat on the edge of our bed. It wasn't that I couldn't return to work. I was merely skimming through emails on her behalf while she slept for another hour. I waited. 6 years, in fact, for the day she'd say, "It's your turn now." That day never came. We were having dinner when I mentioned going back to my job. She was checking her messages. "I've been thinking about getting back into marketing," I said. "Just part-time, maybe rebuild my client base." No encouragement. Not even a glance to see if that's what I truly wanted. "No, I have faith in you. No, you'd be fantastic." Just a casual nod, as if I'd asked whether I could take a walk. I curled up, not discouraged, just too tired to pursue it anymore. So I didn't go back. I had long since buried the grudge. Yet it surfaced silently, not through slammed doors or angry outbursts, but in how she stopped asking about my day, in how I stopped talking during dinner, in how closeness became coordination. On paper, we were a team. In practice, I was the foundation. Scheduling became just another chore. One night, we had guests, potential investors from Denmark. Clarissa dazzled them in a glittering outfit under soft lights. As they left, one thumped my back and said, "You're a lucky man." I grinned, as if I hadn't spent the whole evening arranging snacks and seating charts. Later, I sat on the couch with a drink. "Lucky," I whispered. She walked past in heels and mumbled, "Don't forget to send them thank you emails." "I won't," I replied. She didn't even stop walking. At some point, I realized we were now just employees. I was a butler with a marriage license, a man who once had dreams, now running errands between her public appearances. Yet I stayed, because I believed real love wasn't weak, because when holding the umbrella becomes your full-time job, you believe there are seasons when you shine, and seasons when you shield the other person from the rain. But I kept getting soaked and started to wonder, was it even raining for her anymore? That night I went to bed as she stared at the ceiling, and I wondered when sacrifice had stopped being noble and become servitude, one-sided love. Was it devotion or disguised silence? I turned away. She mumbled in her sleep. I couldn't catch the words, but I think I finally understood. I wasn't in the dream anymore. The headline hit me like a slap. Clarissa Jameson inherits $450 million from Victor Jameson of Techmobile, her father. The same man who always found me unnecessary. She flew to New York for the funeral. I stayed back. While she was on press junkets and panels, I managed her inbox. Color-coded. Her calendar. Checked on hotel suites. I sent sympathy baskets, wrote keynote drafts, and never heard from her once that week. But I convinced myself. That's what partnership looks like. When she returned, she looked immaculate. Black designer coat, effortless. I stood in the hallway, smiling, tired, expecting maybe a hug or a glance. Instead, she handed me a manila envelope. Divorce? I laughed, dry. Wait, you're serious? She nodded, removing her coat. It's time. You can't be serious, Clarissa. You were useful. She didn't even flinch. Now that you're not, I don't need you anymore. For a moment, time stopped. I wasn't angry. Not yet. No. You're saying this because of the inheritance, she looked away. You've become a burden, Miles. I don't have to carry you anymore. And just like that, it all became clear. All these years, I believed I was sacrificing for us. But there was never an us. She had only ever built for one. I didn't scream, didn't cry. I smiled, just barely. Don't regret this, I said softly. Are you threatening me? No. But I saw it. That flicker in her eyes. Was I broken or was I plotting? Even I wasn't sure. That night I signed the papers. She expected resistance. I gave her none. Good luck, I said. She paused. Are you sure? I've never been more certain. Do you really think you'll land without me? I'm not landing, Clarissa. I'm learning to fly. Okay. Maybe a little dramatic. But it felt good, like reclaiming a language I'd forgotten I could speak. 2 days later, she left. No tears. No apology. Just precision. The media called her brilliant, daughter of a titan, heir to a kingdom. She gave speeches, wore the crown, but forgot. Sometimes, what you inherit isn't a gift. It's a trap. As I drank tea and sorted our accounts, I realized Clarissa had left too fast, too confidently. And maybe, just maybe, that confidence would cost her. I didn't know how or when, but the call came. On a Tuesday, I was half-dressed, drinking coffee, going through old mail I wouldn't have picked up, except something told me to. This is Miles Garrett. A pause. Mr. Garrett, the voice said. I believe we met briefly. I'm Victor Jameson's lawyer.